Hello there my RPG lovers and welcome to another video. A couple of well-known titles that came out in recent years failed to deliver a memorable experience. These games had huge budgets and that precious AAA label, but people didn't receive them with open arms. When it comes to action RPGs in particular, things like good writing, quest design and many other features are not only affected by the amount of money that developers have, or publishers for the game, it doesn't matter. A large amount of that budget usually goes into marketing campaigns rather than ensuring the quality of the final product. When you have a smaller budget and limited options, you're pretty much forced to be creative with some things. Developers of RPGs with lower budget accept the fact that they won't win any awards for the best graphics, facial animations or the most polished game of the year, so they shift their focus to other things. And if you can deal with some dose of jankiness in these games, you can discover whole new worlds and maybe even change your perspective a little bit. If you're not a demanding gamer who starts shaking if the animation of the grass is not realistic enough, please don't be that guy. Ever since Greedfall came out, I started to think a lot about this topic. We need games like this, whether you like them or not, especially today when so many AAA single-player games have microtransactions and loot boxes. Single-player games. And then you take a closer look at these smaller developers who are making huge RPGs with a tiny budget. I will gladly tolerate the lack of polish and bad lip sync in these games than play a game that's trying to sell you cheats. Now, I'm not saying that all AA RPGs are good and not all AAA RPGs are bad, let's just get that out of the way. I took Greedfall as an example of a great AA RPG because it's one of the newest games in this genre. In my opinion, Greedfall has a great story and setting, very good voice acting, which was very surprising since these AA RPGs usually have mediocre voice acting at best, multiple ways of doing quests, and a good combat system with the least amount of jank that I experienced in a AA RPG. It definitely sets the bar high for all future AA RPGs. Drink every time I say AA RPG. This game has its problems of course, it's far from perfect, but it's an enjoyable experience overall. However, previous titles from this studio were not great and I personally couldn't get into Technomancer or Bound by Flame. But with each game they improved quite a lot, which only shows us their will to learn from their past mistakes. Even if you don't like this game for a particular reason, just imagine how much their next game will improve. Just remember how the Witcher series started. The first Witcher game had tons of problems when it came out, but that didn't stop the studio from improving. They fixed all the problems and even added more features with the enhanced edition. Then they moved on with the series and started working on a sequel. The Witcher 2 was so much better on a technical level and a major improvement overall. Just remember that those games were also AA RPGs. Then CD Projekt Red stepped in the major league with the third game and we all know what happened after that. Besides the technical problems of AA RPGs, marketing is another huge issue for these games for obvious reasons. There's a big chance you won't even notice these games when they release, unless you're following some bigger YouTuber who makes content about them. Or if you're specifically searching for a new game in this genre, and even then it's possible to miss them. Even if these games won't sell millions of copies in a few weeks, they still manage to cover the expenses and make enough money for another game. Piranha Bytes Studio has been doing this for years. The famous developer of Gothic franchise is doing great, even though last few games that came out from this studio were not so critically acclaimed. But since they only have around 30 people in their team, they always manage to sell enough copies to cover the expenses and make another game. Then we have 9 Dot Studio, the team behind Outward. Even though they only have a couple of people in their team, they managed to create a unique RPG experience that resembles some older games. But even if you didn't like Outward, you should probably keep your eyes on these guys. Outward sold almost 500,000 copies and I believe their next project will be a major improvement in all fields. I'm currently playing The Outer Worlds and this game also proves that you don't need a AAA budget to create an amazing role-playing experience. As most people expected, Obsidian Entertainment didn't disappoint. I'm still not done with this game and I'm planning to do a review, so stick around if you want to hear my final thoughts. These were just some of the reasons why we should care more about smaller developers that are not trying to monetize every aspect of their game. I really hate the fact that so much consumer-unfriendly games are getting a lot of attention these days, and that's probably the main reason why I wanted to make this video. Anyway, I would like to hear your opinion about this topic as well, so feel free to leave a comment down below. If you like the video, press the thumbs up button and subscribe for more content. My channel is based around RPGs, I do in-depth guides, news, discussions and reviews. Special thanks to my Patreons and YouTube exclusive members, and if you as well want to become one of them, all the links are in the description. And I'll see you in the next one.